I'm Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different, and every breakup is different. Work with me, and you'll get professional help on your situation. Just click on the link in the description below, or go to my website, askcraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about I don't want to lose them. Well, breakups are incredibly scary, and you're constantly worried if you're going to lose that person for good, if you're ever going to have an opportunity to re-attract them into your life. And it's really, really scary. And for those of you who have had major abandonment in your childhood, could be with your caregivers, maybe your parents got separated and one moved away. When we have that attachment trauma, or we've gone without for our whole life, it tends to make our romantic lives into a giant disaster, because that loss kind of stays with us. And so when we're adults and we're in our romantic relationships, it takes us back to our childhood where we had that tremendous loss and abandonment, and we're afraid that we're going to go without again, and all the things that we didn't have are gone. You know, we start to fantasize that this new partner is going to give us all those things we never got before, and when they're about to abandon us, or they have abandoned us and left us, it leaves us feeling hopeless and helpless, like we're never going to get those needs met. It's very, very harsh and very, very painful. And the less you had and the less you got from your caregivers, the more painful it is in a breakup as an adult. It kind of brings you back to that trauma of your childhood. So today I have 3 emails, and 2 of them are success stories. Now, I want to get something out of the way with you guys, because it does frustrate me as a coach when you don't follow my instructions a lot of times, because I really do love to see you guys have a success and to turn things around in your life, be it whether you're getting an ex back or you're changing your life, learning all these skills that you can change your internal state and your awareness of what you're doing, and have healthier and better relationships in the future. There are 2 things that I see from you guys that I get frustrated with. And one of them is that what happens is you are working really hard on yourself, and you're watching my videos every day, you're doing Skypes with me, you're doing your emails with me, and then when you believe in your mind that you don't have a chance with them again, you give up. And I see that a lot. And the thing is that just because you believe you don't have a chance again does not mean you don't have a chance again. So one of the things that I see is you guys will work really hard. I sound like I was going to get in that song. Work. All you do is work. So you're working like Rihanna's got you watching my videos. But then when you think that she's never going to come back again, you just give up and you're done and you just kind of move on. And then a lot of times what happens is they'll reach out again and you'll blow it because you haven't been doing the work like you could have been doing and making those changes that would better your opportunities with your romantic partners. The other thing that I see is you guys do get your ex back and you stop working. And you stop watching the videos, and you stop learning, and you regress right back to your old self. And I gotta tell you, I did a Skype today with a guy who I had done one 2 months ago, almost to the day. Now, let me tell you something about this guy. He was about as close to getting dumped as you could possibly get. And I told him that. I said, you are on the edge of a knife here, and if you don't do exactly what I say, you're done. And he called me today. This is the first time I talked to him in 2 months, and guess what? He did everything that I told him to do, and he got her back. And then he stopped doing everything that I told him to do, And now she is giving him the same excuses that she was before, but this time it's worse. I mean, this time she has said breakup. She's like, I didn't want us to go through a breakup, but that's what we're going through. And she's coming back to his house for a couple days to get her stuff. And I tried to prepare him for it. It's not what he wanted to hear, but he knew I was right. And I could tell just by talking to him on the phone, just what he had said to me, that he didn't follow my instructions. I could pick it up right away. And I said to him, you haven't been watching the videos, have you? And he said, I didn't. I stopped watching them as soon as I got her back. And I said, I told you exactly what you needed to do. You didn't do it. You did this to yourself. Now she's on the verge of moving out, and there's nothing he could say that could stop her from moving out at this point. And so we had to come up with how to handle these next few days, but if he does get her back, it's not going to be anytime soon. She's just done. And it frustrates me because he had all of the tools to make it work. I gave them to him. We discussed a really in-depth plan. He even had his paper out with notes on front and back. By the way, a lot of you guys taking notes during our Skype. I think that's great. He showed me, and I was like, yeah, but you didn't stick to it. And because he didn't, now this girl is on the verge of moving out. And so I just wanted to tell you guys, I know what a lot of you guys are going to do, and I'm warning you, because just like I warned him, you don't want to go down that avenue, okay? Just because you think she's gone or he's gone for good does not mean they are. Just because you believe it does not mean it's true, because things change all the time. And believe me, I see situations that look like they're never going to turn around, and they do. And the other thing is, if you get your ex back, don't go back to your old ways. You're going to get dumped. Believe me, I see it, guys. So I just had to vent because I do really care about what I do, and I am passionate about helping you guys, but you got to follow my instructions, okay? And if I tell you to specifically do something and how to handle a scenario, stick to that plan. You got to understand, guys, I deal with this all day, every day, and I've lived this, okay? You've got to stay focused, okay? You've got to be disciplined, right? Just like my video, have discipline or fail. So, I've got 2 success stories that I wanted to share with you guys. And the first one, they said, hey Craig, this is a success story of sorts, not the traditional kind. After our phone session, I did what we discussed entirely for letting my avoidant girlfriend come to me, which she did, until we got close. Then she'd back away again, which is typical of an avoidant. Taking my own step back gave me ample opportunity to view this merry-go-round and see how little she actually brought to the table. Some pretty good sex and occasional companionship, but that was about it. Now, I remember this guy, and I remember our Skype, and I do remember his entire situation, and his girlfriend / ex-girlfriend was not really there for him, and he really wasn't getting what he needed from the situation, and he got fed up, and I don't blame him. He says, not much of a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Notice, too, if she didn't get exactly what she wanted from me, when she wanted it, she would actively withhold communication, cancel plans, deprioritize me over others, and repeatedly fail to keep her word. Well, you can't really keep a relationship going with somebody like that for very long. It takes 2 people to make it work. I brought these issues up after a particularly disrespectful incident. She canceled a date, did something with her ex that she asked me to do with her. Okay, so she canceled with him and then she went and hung out with an ex? Not okay. And there's, obviously a lot going on more than that one thing, but come on. Sounds like I would be pretty fed up by that too. And you know how that went. Every one of my needs, acceptance, communication, honesty, being a priority, integrity was my problem, and she wasted little time shooting them all in my face. Ouch. But I know better, so I calmly told her if she's unwilling or unable to keep her word and treat me better, like someone actually cared about, I was done. That's when she flipped me off. Yep, her response was the bird. Big Bird. Boom! Suffice to say, I broke up with her on the spot. Can't say it doesn't hurt. We created many great memories over the past 18 months, and I'll miss the connection we had during them. However, being with someone who doesn't highly value me all the time just isn't gonna fly. Lesson learned, avoid the avoidance. Well, you can have a good relationship with an avoidant if you understand them and you are willing to make certain sacrifices. Let's face it, no matter who you date, it's not always going to be great or amazing. But when you're dating an avoidant, they're going to have a certain pattern of behavior that you may not want to deal with for very long, and you get fed up and you say, you know what, I got to move on, like he did. And, he knows what he wants in life. He's a very articulate, smart guy, and he had a lot going for him. And so he says, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this anymore. She gave him the bird when he said, hey, I need more from you than you hanging out with your ex and, blowing up, in my face when I'm trying to communicate here. So, my point is that you can date an avoidant. You can date somebody with an anxious attachment style. To be aware of what they're going to do and if it's something that you can live with. Okay? The second email, they said, "Hi Craig, I just wanted to reach out and give you an update on my situation, which is featured in your video. They have an avoidant attachment style. After our email coaching, I really struggle with your advice to move on from my ex since she was not in a healthy place to be in a relationship." Well, it can be really, really tough to move on. And, it can be really hard to love somebody and know that they simply can't make it work with you. But you also have to be the priority of your own life, and you can't make someone else the priority. You got to value yourself and what you need. Shortly after our email coaching, my ex reached out to me and said she missed me. Even though I should have taken your advice, I went back to my ex, who acted very loving towards me and seemed to be willing to work out our relationship. Okay. He said, but 2 weeks later, she broke up with me again. Oh, that's awful. And became distant and cold. I was so hurt and heartbroken. I decided to go to therapy to work on my anxiety and anxious attachment style. Well, good for you. That's awful. 2 weeks later, you probably thought, wow, I finally got her back, and then boom, she pulls that. A few months later, my ex reached out to me again and wanted to stay friends, but I told her that even though I still loved her and cared for her, being friends would be extremely difficult for me to get over all the hurt and pain of our breakup. And I told her the best thing for me was to move on. Well, good for you, because had you kept her in your life, especially as a friend, when, let's be honest, that's not what you want, you would have been lying to her and trying to manipulate her to take you back. Ending our relationship for good was very hard, but I knew it was for the best. I continued with therapy and was getting better at controlling my anxiety, and my self-confidence improved drastically. Well, that is awesome to hear. She said a little bit more, but I'm really happy to hear that. I also met an incredible woman who I am now in a loving and committed relationship in. I honestly could not have asked for a better partner. She is completely the opposite of my ex. She's extremely kind, caring, communicates extremely well, and has become my best friend. We have so much fun together, and I have never been with someone who I have felt more comfortable, natural, and safe with. I just wanted to let your viewers know that there is hope out there that you can love again. That there are healthy, genuine, and caring people out there who will make great partners and treat you well. But it won't happen if you don't work on yourself and love to learn and respect yourself. Thank you so much, Craig, for all your help. I still enjoy watching your videos and hope my story will help others in a similar situation. Take care. Well, that was an awesome success story. And both of these success stories are kind of untraditional for what I share. But you know what? These two people took bad situations, they took their breakups, and they completely turned their life around. The first guy stopped tolerating his ex's BS and poor treatment of him, and he started respecting himself, and he's gonna find a great girl. And it's, but it hasn't been that long. And this second story, we have somebody that found an amazing partner and is so excited and happy, and they're in the best relationship they've ever been in. So, guys, believe me, I know your situation feels hopeless and helpless, and it's scary, and it's awful, but you can take a breakup and turn it into something great. I did. If it wasn't for the breakups that I went through and how traumatized I was, I wouldn't be doing this today. And as you guys know, I do love what I do. And one of the best things that I see from you guys is that, in a way, you guys are help changing the world too. And not just through what's going on in your own lives, but I have so many of you guys sharing your story and sharing me and my work with your friends and your family, and I cannot thank you enough for that, because I had 2 people today alone that were referred to good friends of theirs because they enjoyed the Skypes with me so much. So when you guys do that, it tells me how good I am doing, that I'm constantly getting you guys coming back over and over again, and now you're referring your friends and your family to me. So thank you so much. So when you do a Skype with me and you really do value what I've done in your life, share it with friends and family to help them too, because you got to understand, very little of us have had any kind of guidance or education on how to have a healthy relationship, and that's what I'm here to do. Of course, I want to help you get your ex back and reattract them. I know that's such a priority for you, and I'll do everything that I can to help you when I'm working with you. And I also want to help you guys have healthy, long-lasting relationships, regardless if you get that person back or not. So thank you guys for sharing my work with other people that you care about, because that really tells me a lot. So I have one more email for you guys today, and this woman is in her late 20s. Now she's dating a woman in her early 20s for a few months. She was telling me about the woman that she was dating, and she said her parents don't participate in her school, studies, or career choices. She mostly initiates, researches, and takes responsibility for everything on her own. There was a period of time when she was quite young. She stayed with her relatives. That family doesn't really communicate with each other and is just silent most of the time, even during dinner, and she didn't like it, and she was distant from them. So she's in a situation where she's dating a girl that her family sounds very disconnected from each other. They're all around each other and they're miserable. They don't know how to connect. So that's not a good sign. She loves her parents and their parenting style, which is to ignore her and not engage when she does something wrong and respond only when she does something in the right way. Well, I don't think I would want parents that didn't tell me if they thought I was doing something wrong. How is that going to help me? How is that going to help me make better choices? Right? You want parents to try and guide you. She told me she wants to be in an unlabeled relationship, says she doesn't want to lose me, wants to be friends, and gave me an intimate kiss. Okay, now that's regarding the breakup. So, she doesn't want to lose you, but she doesn't want to be in a relationship. In other words, she wants you hanging on while she goes out and explores other people? I don't think so. I wouldn't do it. She never initiates contact with me since that time. Ignored me and didn't respond to me for a long time after that. Well, that tells me that she just didn't value you at that time. Now that can change, but I certainly wouldn't chase after somebody that's ignoring me and not getting back to me. Later told me she is not taking it well though, and she acts and looks as if she doesn't care. She has conflicting thoughts about getting back together. Well, if someone was telling me that, I would let them know that I was having conflicting thoughts too. I'm certainly not going to be chasing after somebody that's acting like they're not sure if they care about me or they miss me. Asked me along for events she is working at and agreed to meet up on other occasions, but after some time told me she doesn't want to meet me again unless it's with other classmates. Well, so you can see what she's doing here. The ex is saying, oh, I don't want to be alone with you. And if you go along with that, then you're going to have to settle for that. And I wouldn't settle for that. During the breakup, I cried on the spot and was rather upset, but I agreed to be friends. I wouldn't do that. I would not be friends with an ex that you're trying to be romantically involved with. It's not going to help you. After that, she was very cold and ignored me. I realized we might not be close if we were friends, so I asked her if she wants to get back together. I acted confident, but was probably too anxious, emotional, and eager whenever we saw each other and talked. Yeah, when you're going through this breakup, it's really easy to act anxious, emotional, and eager when you talk to them. And you got to control yourself. You got to have emotional self-control. I think that the two biggest problems we had is that we are too different. I'm very different from her and her other close friends, and I was too giving. It takes two. Her complaint was that you're too giving? Okay. She'd rather have somebody that takes? I guess. I know I probably have an anxious attachment style. What should I do to have a healthy relationship in the future? Well, I certainly would not advise you to chase after people who act like they're unsure if they want to be around you. You want to spend your time with people that are excited to see you and be around you. And if they're not, then you're certainly not going to chase them, no matter how much you miss them or want to be around them. How should I prepare and respond and relate to her if she contacts me, and if we see each other in person at class and events? Well, if she contacts you, well, it would depend upon the nature of what she's contacting you about. I mean, I certainly would let her know that you're not interested in just friendship and get that out of the way at an appropriate time. And, you know, if you're going to see her at class, which is entirely possible if you have classes together, just be friendly and, you know, don't go out of your way to go talk to her or anything like that. I really want her back in my life, but I'm also worried that even being friends with her might interfere with me being romantically attached to someone who is better suited for me, since she seems to be having an avoidant attachment style. But I've never felt and been so close to someone before, and I don't want to lose it. Okay, so that's a big part of what's going on here, is that you are feeling a connection with somebody that you've never had. And so you're scared that, and you're anxious that if you let her go and you move on, that you're not going to find somebody else to meet those needs that you've been neglected with for so long, which is what I talked about in the very onset of the video, where if you've been neglected and unheard and unseen and ignored during your childhood, when you have an adult partner or potential partner come along, you are going to tend to cling to it and desperately try and control it and keep it in your life, even if it's unhealthy for you, because you've been without for so long. And you don't want to lose it because you're afraid you may not find something better. So that's why I'm always trying to teach you guys how to have healthier relationships. So you have tremendous amounts of skills and knowledge and understanding of relationships, so you can let go easier of the ones that aren't working for you and have a faith and sense of security that you can find somebody better. And that's why I'm always trying to tell you guys that Skyping with me is going to help, so we can talk about it and you can heal from it and you will learn from it and you're just going to feel so much better. The research is out there that when you talk to a professional about your situations, you feel better. That is how we heal. That is like the #1 way we heal. And if there was a higher way of healing than that, I would be doing it. Because that is my goal, is to help as many of you guys as possible and help change your lives, help you have healthier romantic relationships and better relationships with your friends and your family through understanding them and their attachment styles and the trauma they have gone through and the trauma you've gone through, and understanding what their love language is so you can better meet their needs and be a better partner for them. And so, guys, I understand how scary it is at the idea that you're going to lose this person and the object that you love. And even Freud said that we are never as helpless as when we lose the object of our desire or the person that we love. So it's painful and it's hard, and that's why I'm here for you guys. Believe me, I'm so busy and sometimes I'm so exhausted. Tonight and the last night, that's why I didn't do a video yesterday. I was just too exhausted. I've been so busy lately and trying to keep up and catch up. But I love what I do, and thank you guys for the support and, you know, the likes on the videos, the comments. I really do appreciate it. It keeps me going when I get really tired. So if you want to get my help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net, sign up for the coaching option that works best for you. I do email coaching and I do Skype coaching. And if you like the video, throw a like on there, leave comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel because I do post videos Monday through Friday. That's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.